Hi Capricorn, this is your general tarot reading for Capricorn Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of June. So Capricorn, let's shuffle these cards and wait for the right ones to come out just for you, as we always do here. And in the meantime, we're going to talk about the energies as this beauty came out. We're going to lay her down there. And the energies are really this month focusing on that big lightning strike that hit your heart mid-May. For some of you, it was a sudden surprise that may have been both positive or negative. But either way, it really exposed some part of you, some deep part in your heart that made you bring up all these questions now about who do you really love? Who do you care for? And vice versa, who loves you and who really cares for you? And in terms of your creativity and the love that you give to the things in your life, it's the same. Do I still have a connection to the things in my life? Or do I just feel totally disconnected and out of touch now with what I'm giving my heart to? And this is made even more clear this month with the Sagittarian full moon in your 12th house of things that might be lost or forgotten, things that bubble up from your subconscious, vague things that you can't quite put a name on, little psychic insights, little flashes that appear seemingly out of nowhere, but make you stop in your tracks and make you think, where is this coming from? And there are moments where you may feel very disconnected from the people around you and from things around you. But I don't want you to panic, because counterbalancing that, there's the sun in the 6th house with Mercury too. And the 6th house and the sun are both healers, houses of healing. And you can consider them like the great big cosmic repair shop. That's it, the cosmic repair shop. And you'll be going in this month in June to the cosmic repair shop to fix all of these things that are now rising up from your heart that you don't always understand. And I want to tell you a story, Capricorn, if you don't mind, that might sum the energies up for you. And it's the story of the gift of the musical box. Yeah, things coming up from the subconscious. I'll lay it down there. So one day Capricorn was sitting down minding his own business, and Uranus came along. And Uranus is a bit eccentric, he's a bit weird, he's a bit shocking, and usually when you see him come, you know, he's the one when he arrives, you keep your head down and say, oh God, I hope he doesn't see me, I hope he doesn't see me. Yeah, but this time Uranus did see Capricorn sitting there minding his own business. And he came up and he said, hey Capricorn, I've got a gift for you. And Capricorn said, oh yeah, really? And he said, yeah, here, this is for you. And he handed Capricorn a box. And Capricorn took the box, looked at it and said, you know, Uranus, really, you're not the best gift giver. There's nothing in here. Word of advice, stick to vouchers next time. Everybody likes vouchers. What is this? And Uranus said, no, it's very, very, very valuable. Capricorn said, okay, I'll play. What is it? And Uranus came and touched it with his little magic finger, and the box opened. And out from this box came the most beautiful music. And Capricorn listened to it, and he said, I know this tune. It's a beautiful tune. And Capricorn listened and listened, but couldn't quite figure out where he had heard it before. The tune and the melody was both beautiful, but haunting, happy and sad, and it evoked strong feelings in Capricorn. And Capricorn said, I can't remember where I heard this tune before. So he listened and listened, and he decided then to take it to a few people and to ask them, hey, have you heard this tune before? I know it from somewhere. And people listened to it and said, no, I don't recognize that tune at all. It means absolutely nothing to me. And other people came and they said, What is that noise? Can you turn the volume down on that bloody thing? It's just making a racket. Take it away from me. And Capricorn said, no, there's more to this. It's such a beautiful tune. So nobody could help him. So Capricorn went and sat quietly in a quiet space in a garden, listening to this tune and being completely moved by it, until somebody came along and they said, "That's such a beautiful tune. What's the name of it?" Capricorn said, "I have no idea, but it's nice, isn't it?" And this person came and sat with them, and they both enjoyed this music. And then another person came, and another, and they all sat down and listened to this music, but none of them could figure out the name of the tune. And the music moved Capricorn and these people to get up and to dance and to express themselves through this music. And there were moments where they danced softly and gently, and moments where they just went wild and crazy and laughed and enjoyed it. But it was bringing out such strong feelings in anyone who could hear it and enjoy it and appreciate it. And they liked it. And they expressed themselves deeply through the sound of this hauntingly beautiful melody. And after a while, when they had danced so much and expressed so much through this music and spoke so much and opened up how they felt and how they could describe this music, and each having their own interpretation of what the music meant, after a while, they just sat down and they were happy and pleased, and they felt that they had kind of bonded a little bit with each other. And in the end, somebody turned to Capricorn and said, "Hey, did you ever remember the name of that tune?" And Capricorn said, "I don't think that it's something that can be named, yet I'm pretty certain that when it's called, it will always answer." And that is a little story to give you the energies, the idea there as this beautiful card comes out. The musical box is the music of your heart that you had long forgotten. And Uranus now has awoken that melody in your heart that's both happy and sad, joyful and haunting at the same time. But nonetheless, it inspires you to dance, it inspires you to communicate, to create, and to form bonds with other people who like the sound of the music that's coming from your heart. And while the full moon may make you feel that these things that are coming up from your heart, that you can't quite name them, you can't quite remember them, there'll be a moment as the sun shines on fixing your heart and fixing the things that are called up to the surface to be felt, that you will realize that it doesn't matter what it's called, it doesn't matter why it's happening. All that matters is that you can tap into it, and when you summon it, when you call this nameless feeling, this nameless expression, it will answer you, and it will bring you that beautiful melody that sits in your heart. So that is what the energies are for this month. So if you're feeling that everything around you, your work life, your home life, your family life, you're feeling a little bit disconnected in some way from them, they may be making you feel a little bit sad, that you have to take time away to recover, to feel at peace, to take time out, so that you can listen again to what your heart is telling you, to what the music in your heart now is expressing, so that you can fill your world with things that now only come from your heart. Because that ultimately is the purpose for all of us, Capricorn, to only fill our lives with things that have great meaning. And I do understand that it's a task for you in this life to stick with vague feelings that will be coming up to stick with vague emotions that might be coming up, because you are a solidifier. You want things to be crystallized. And to run with such an energy for you, Capricorn, it might be difficult, but it's a great month to learn that some of the greatest raw materials we do have in this life, the most valuable things we have, are a little bit nameless. They are a little bit nebulous, but nonetheless, they are raw materials for this life. And the raw materials of the love and expression and creativity that comes from your heart must now be treated as something solid, something that is a raw material, in order for you to move forward in your life with a greater sense of purpose. I know we're getting some difficult cards coming out here as I'm speaking. So that's the key energy, but I'm going to talk about some other energies that are also happening that you may experience alongside this, so that you're prepared for these moments, Capricorn. Otherwise, June might feel a little bit free-falling for you. And like I said, once you grasp that this is an energy of healing and giving you space and time to begin rediscovering this heart energy, you won't feel like everything is falling apart, okay? We have a beautiful new moon happening in Gemini again on the 13th of June, which is again offering you more healing. For some of you, let's be practical here, okay? For some of you in your work life, there have been situations that have been causing you a lot of concern. Even if it's just your job that now needs to be changed up. Some of you could seriously be thinking about getting a new job, because there was something about the old job that was a bit too vague or unhelpful, or the systems were a bit crap. You couldn't work with it. There was something about your old way of working or your old job that you just can't work with anymore. And the energy wasn't great. And on the 13th of June, you might find that doors are opening for you to start again, refresh your working life, your work experience, and possibly with a whole new job. And I wish you the best of luck if that's the case. A card fell on the floor here, Capricorn. I have to go and get that now. Hang on. And it's the Hierophant, the Taurus card. We're waiting on 4 more cards, and I'll just keep telling you what else might be happening here. Just to step away from all that cloudy, nebulous energy and bring it back down to earth, just as you like it, Capricorn. Yeah, just as you like it. And this month you may find that the energies may not be the kind of energies that you are accustomed to or that you like. Page of Cups, but you're learning how to navigate through them nonetheless. It doesn't have to be terrible. It just has to be understood so that you know how to move happily through it. Venus at the start of the month is in your house of relationships. So there may be a few moments where you might need to iron things out with your partner, those of you who are in a relationship, so that you get back on the same page with each other and really start to enjoy each other's company again. For those of you who aren't in a relationship, it's a great moment this month to go out there and meet new people. Go out there and have fun and pleasure meeting and greeting and drawing love to you. Some of you could really be drawing a new love towards you this month. So it's an optimistic time. For those of you who absolutely have zero interest in love, this is a great moment for you to, in business, to maybe find new people to work with, new partners in crime to kind of get stuck into new projects with. So yeah, new faces to make money with. Some of you could be entering into a contract this month, sealing a deal, signing contracts and feeling good about it, that you might be making new money with a new partnership that you're going into with somebody there. Now, another big one that's happening is Mars is retrograding. You're going to feel this all month. And this is another thing that you might have to watch out for, that you've been working so hard, Capricorn, in building up money and saving, and there might be a point this month where you decide to blow it all, that you're tired waiting. Now this is, I know, traditionally this is not your energy. You like to feel secure and have money coming in on a regular basis. But something might happen this month where your self-esteem is a little bit challenged because of all the things we spoke about. And you may say, you know what, I'm going to take all the money I've been saving and blow it all on some big item that makes me feel good about myself again, because I haven't been feeling good about myself. And now that all this stuff in my heart now is opening up, why save this money? Maybe I need to go out and buy something that's really big, that gives me real joy, pleasure and happiness. You could do that, but I don't know, I get the feeling you might regret it afterwards. You know, it's a moment of venting out all your frustration by going out and throwing a bunch of cash at something, and then afterwards going, what was I thinking? that was a bad decision. Why did I do that? Now I have to start again from zero to build all that money up again. So don't use your money as a way to spend in order to feel good about yourself. This is not something that will ultimately bring you happiness. What you can do is, again, recognize that these are some complex energies this month. And if you're able to navigate through them, then you won't feel so inclined to blow it all, blow your stash on something that seems like your heart wants it. No, you have to just go steady and slow, because throwing a bunch of money at all these complex things that are coming up aren't going to silence it. It's not like a crying baby that you just throw something at it, like an expensive toy or something, and then hope that they'll stop crying. No, you need to pick it up and nurture it. So like I said, throwing a bunch of money at bad feelings isn't actually going to fix anything. But I don't want that for a moment, before I look at the cards, I don't want you for a moment to think that this is a bad month. It is not. It's just an opportunity for you to have a little bit of peace and quiet, to take a little moment to recover, heal and repair. And once you're recovered, healed and repaired, you're able to go back out there and possibly with a brand new way of sharing your love and getting self-esteem through people who genuinely love and care about you, and not by people who degrade you or debase you in some way, you know, because that's an energy that could happen if you're not in control of this month. Okay, my love? So let's begin with the cards. Hopefully you are seeing that big overview, the big picture for this month in June. So yeah, we begin with these two beauties, right? This is the hard taskmaster, the queen, the nasty bitch of the tarot, the one who feels that life has been cruel to her. Life has been hard, and therefore she became hard. She didn't want to be hard or cruel. She didn't want that. But because she was met with so much crap after crap after crap, life made her like that. And she recognizes too, if you see with this card, there's no emotion in it. It's very, very cold. And in some ways, this is what Capricorn can do. It can take the emotions and try to put these emotions into a crystallized form. So taking a water substance like the emotions and trying to crystallize them and harden them. And unfortunately, that's what's happened to her. In an effort to understand her world and why it's been so shitty, and not necessarily engaging with these emotions of the heart, she has tried to understand it by crystallizing it. And like I said, making her world too hard and not fluid enough and soft enough. And because of that, she's become hard. But yet she's still wise enough, which gives me great confidence this month for you, Capricorn, because she is smart enough to summon up. See, her hand is coming up and she's saying, come on, Gabriel, do your thing. This needs to happen. Rise up all these subconscious hurts and pains, things which I didn't want to look at, things which I really didn't want to deal with, because even I'm now ready to clean them. You're calling them up, and I've a big sword to chop their heads off as they come up. Okay, so that mightn't be exactly the right strategy here. Calling up the hurts and the pains and taking a big sword and saying, "Be gone, I behead you." In some way, yeah, that's one way to do it. But in some way you have to recognize that these are gentle, these are hurts in the past. You'll see some of these hurts happened maybe when you were younger, when you were exposed. See, they're naked, which means they're very vulnerable. So vulnerable parts of yourself might be surfacing this month. And don't be so hard like her when they gently rise up in their vulnerable state, in their vulnerable expression. Don't be the one that tries to just chop their heads down and say, "Get back down in your box. That should shut you up." No, they need care, they need love, and they need attention. You need care, you need love, and you need attention. And so do the pains and the hurts that you have been carrying. And remember, don't be her when these things come up. Don't try to cut them down and silence them and think that that's the best strategy. Face them, be kind and be gentle. And you know, when these things are called up, they may hurt you. And I get that's why the Queen wants to chop their heads off when they come up. When these old memories of people who have hurt you, that you want to slay them. I get why. Because when you face them, you're going to be feeling like this again, and you're saying, "I have spent too long now feeling like this. It's this that I want to get away from. I want happiness and joy in my life, and I keep trying to bring it, and every time I do, it's elusive, it's evading me, it's not happening. I mean, why would I want to look at these sad things in my life? Because then I'm reminded that I'm sad. And I can't go through my life feeling like this all the time. It's a fucking punishment. Sorry for my language, but it feels like just an endless punishment. But again, like I said to you, if you are less like her, always trying to take a knife and a blade to them and chop these feelings down when they rise, and being more gentle with them, realizing that there's something divine calling them up. And the divine is gentle. When the divine calls something up, it's not in an effort to chop it down, but in an effort to heal it, to give it a choice to rise, to give it a choice to turn into something more beautiful, to give it a break, essentially, and to allow it to express itself so that it can transform into something more beautiful. And yeah, sure, there will be moments where you'll feel your heart is broken. But like I said, don't run away from these feelings, because the very act of trying to suppress these emotions is the thing that's keeping you locked into this feeling. Feeling that when you look in the past, everything is just knocked down and nobody ever listened to you, nobody ever cared. You never felt a decent and genuine connection to anybody who really understood you. Nobody could hear the music from that music box and dance with you. But if you just turned around from feeling that you have to hold in these emotions and see that there is the cup of healing and the cup of love right behind you, then you realize that you can move out of that space, that everything in your life doesn't have to be always touched by the dark feelings that seem to, you can never really fully close off these feelings because they always seep out. And what you found, Capricorn, is these unresolved feelings have seeped out, and in May and now in June, that you have to deal with them. And you have to deal with them and allow them to be healed. So, like I said, you can move on with a happy heart, with a light heart, with a healed heart. And when you do this, because you always have a choice, Capricorn, you can ignore this and continue business as usual and say, I have not got room in my life for that fantasy shit. I have not got room in my life for open your heart and let's all heal the world. I've shit to be doing. I've business to be getting on with. Don't have time for it. That attitude may have kept you feeling like this for a long time. Yeah, you have to be a little bit brave this month and allow these things to be healed. So that you don't always feel that you have to grin and bear your entire existence. Because once you do it, the universe is handing you a newness, a new purpose, a new fire, a new flame, new energy. Life. New life is coming to you in June. On a very literal sense, it could be a new baby, a new pet, a new family member being welcomed into your world. But really, in the most part, with the energies that are happening here, it's all about trying. The universe is really trying to give you this new life now. Even with the weird and strange bad gift giver of Uranus, he is still trying to give you something in his own weird, quirky, strange way. And that is the healing, so that you can have this new life, new opportunities. Again, more literally, definitely there are new opportunities to heal old relationships, to communicate better with relationships. There are opportunities for you to change your jobs and switch jobs, and the energy and fire is there for you to do it. But at the same time, are you going to enter this new space again, doing it the same way as before? Would you not like to really do it with a sense of freedom and enter this new experience, this new life and opportunity that's given to you with a newer energy? That would be much better, wouldn't it, Capricorn? And a newer energy for what? You know, it's been lit up by the sun. There's the match being lit up by the sun. The sun really wants to heal you. And the sun in the 6th house of healing. And then on the 21st of June, the sun moves into your house of partnerships. So it's going to help you heal how you relate to others, how you express yourself to others. And through the cards here, the energies want you to succeed. They want you to be a success. They want you to heal. And they're throwing everything at you this month. And like I said, it's really up to you. Do you choose to stay stuck in the old way of doing things, in the old behavioral patterns? Or do you keep your heart open just long enough and keep the music playing just long enough so that you can be healed and that others can enter your world and you can receive healing through them too? Because you can't just heal yourself on your own. You've got to depend on outside influences too. And this is very important for those of you Capricorns who may have really shut yourself off from getting into relationships with other people. You say, it's never a good thing, I'm better just sticking to my own world and sticking with what I know. Other people just mess everything up for me. Well, that's not going to make you grow in any way, shape or form. And the sun, it really wants you to grow through the help and assistance of other people's love for you. You see, you've got all this open heart energy coming out now, and if you use the energy right, other people will respond. And they may act like a mirror for you to point out what needs to be healed. And instead of getting annoyed and frustrated when people say, you know, Capricorn, you may not realize this, but sometimes you can be a bit hard, or sometimes you can be a bit negative, or sometimes you can be a bit, and you'll say, why do I bother with these people? They're always bringing me down. This time, the sun is saying maybe other people do have something to point out to you, hopefully in a nice way, that you can learn from and you can take healing from. But look, the sun is sitting beside this gorgeous card of being given the invitation to heal. Everything we've just spoken about. The sun is inviting you. It is the one that's giving the light through the tears. He is the one that's able to cast his light on your world and create the rainbow. Because that's what you want. You want a rainbow that makes a bridge between the sad things that you've been experiencing for many, many years and bringing you towards your happy ever after. Honestly, Capricorn, the cards here are all about pushing to heal you. But I need you to go with that flow and allow it to happen. Allow it to happen. I know it's unfamiliar territory to you, but allow it. Because you are the strategist. Allow this be a strategy in your life now. To say, I don't have time, space for this kind of hippie feeling bullshit. But that's not a good strategy in life. It's not a good strategy for your life at all. A good strategy now, Capricorn, a smart kind of strategy is to go with this and allow the healing to take place, my love. And again, another invitation here, an invitation for you to end those deep hurts and deep sadnesses, because you can now see that there's a possibility as we go through June. The potential is there to break those habits and to break the habits that keep you perpetually locked in to putting, a cloak over yourself and hiding your pain from the world and just getting on with it, grinning and bearing it, and looking out from underneath your cloak every now and then and saying, if only they knew how hurt I am, and then covering yourself again and uncloaking yourself long enough to look out at other people's lives and saying, how are they so happy? How do they get away with this type of shit they do? That they seem to do whatever it is their heart wants and the universe rewards them. But not me. All I have to do is just keep my head down and work. That's the only way I ever seem to get any joy or pleasure or happiness. And you close yourself again. You can break this. You can this month, a powerful month, Capricorn. You can break this. And all the energy is now tailor-made. This is like going to the top tailor this month. The energies are exquisitely tailor-made for you to take off that old shabby cloak and to put on something more beautiful that you don't have to hide under, but that you can now step out with and shine with and express with. And beside that card we have the Hierophant, somebody who is giving a deep, solid commitment to a belief, somebody who sees that there's a greater wisdom in their life now, who recognizes that there are higher things in your life that have more value. Traditionally we say it's a religious card, people with religious beliefs or doctrines or dogmas or ideologies, etc. But in this month, with the energies that are happening, what's on offer to you, Capricorn, is to make a solid commitment to yourself, to your heart, to your future, to allow this strategy take space, to allow the strategy unfold. You can still be the master field marshal up at the top, moving the little pieces across the board, and moving all the soldiers here, there and everywhere. You can still remain detached if you feel that it's all terribly uncomfortable, but you must allow the process unfold and you must commit to it in order to get the benefits of what's on offer to you. I'm saying you must do this, you must do that. You don't ever get to tell anybody that they must do something. But what I can suggest to you, Capricorn, is that as the field marshal of your life, the wisest strategy is to commit to the one which allows you to be healed, so that you can go into the future with this new thing, which will bring you more success. Capricorn, you want to be a success in your life. You want to stand out and allow people to recognize that you are the shit, that you've got it going on. You know what you're doing, and you're just beaming as a symbol and icon of being the boss and being a success. And what we know from very, very, very the top successful people is that they will at some point release a lot of that old garbage and trash, so that they have a clarity, so that they can move on with their great plans, schemes and things without the baggage of being weighed down by deep emotional pain. You know, because when you do have deep emotional pain, what we tend to do, Capricorn, is make all our life decisions based on even these subconscious hurts. We think we're making these decisions for other reasons, but usually it's to suppress or keep quiet or empower a missing element in you. We're always kind of chained when we don't free these things in ourselves. So, you know, unchain your heart and set yourself free, so that everything you have in the future is not restricted by the past. Everything in your future is not restricted by the past. And success will come from allowing that to be your new strategy. As we come towards the end of the month, you're feeling it, you're getting it. This is the beginner, the learner, somebody who's taking something on a test drive. And what are you taking on a test drive? Hopefully, please don't say a new car, because that would have meant that you didn't listen and you splurged all your money and savings on something that suppresses all these complex emotions rather than dealing with them. I can't tell you not to do that, but what you'll be test driving, hopefully, are these emotions. You may sit back and allow the emotions come up. And if your first instance is to be like the Queen and say, bullshit, what a lot of nonsense, you know, and maybe blame somebody else, blame some situation, blame something, that's not a genuine reaction. Sometimes we just have to let the thing come up, feel it, and not have an answer to it. Just give it space. Just let it rise and let it have a moment of space, and let it go back down again and rise again and go back down again, until you get familiar with how to manage these complex emotions, because that's what he's doing. He's learning how to manage his love, how to manage these complex emotions. And once he does that, then here comes the invitation. You see, he's holding up these complex emotions, and he's saying, I'm a beginner here. I don't quite understand what the hell is in this bloody cup, but here, take it off my hands. And death rides in. Death, two scorpionic cards. Death, the ultimate transformer, is coming in to take that out of your hands, Capricorn. You've gathered them all up and you said, take it. And that's in a more gentle way. When you invite something to be transformed, that's when the actual death happens. When something is summoned up and your first instance is to chop its head off, that's just a disaster. So do you see where I'm going with this? This is an invitation for you to stay with it, to learn with it, to allow these complex emotions to come up, to hold them and to give them space. And in doing that, then they will finally go. Then they will be transformed into something far more beautiful. And where is death going to carry this off to? He's going to carry it off and leave you feeling that you have a lot of questions now. And that's no surprise. This guy is sitting down and meditating, and he's saying, who do I value in my life? Who do I love in my life? Is the grass greener on the other side? Have I been doing it all wrong? Have I been in superficial relationships? Have I been surrounding myself with a kind of a safe existence that had no heart and soul really in it, but it kept me safe and secure? There was nothing wrong with it, so I had no reason to change it. But here you are now, once death comes in and takes away those hurts and pains. You are given this wonderful space under the 12th house full moon to have a real good long think about how you want your love to proceed now. So it's quite a big challenge. I understand it, Capricorn, but you can do it. You can certainly do it, and you certainly would be wise to do it. At the end of the month, here you are running full steam ahead, charging. Now, there is a moment where we start off with the Queen, And she was going to chop all the heads off that were rising up and to be harsh when these complex emotions came up. And we end with this. And because of where he's situated, he's saying, go back, it's a trap. So there will be a moment at the end of the month where you might find it quite difficult, because we do have a Capricorn full moon. And this might bring up these complex emotions again at the end of the month, where you say, why did I indulge in all of this? Stop, it's too highly emotional. I need to go back. I need to go back to the old me. I need to go back to my old way of doing things. I need to return and go back to my old life. I know that's a very tempting thing to do, because the old life is a safe life. You're familiar with it. You know how to do it. You're a master at the old shit. And at the end of the month, there will be that moment of panic where you'll say, turn around, go back. It's all too much, it's all too heavy. But don't fear it. Don't lose your self-esteem. Don't feel insecure, because it's a slow process, and certainly one worth it, because the extra card that came out is the card of feeling completely and utterly satisfied emotionally, happy and content within yourself, surrounded by these cups. And the cups, there's 9 of them, and they're filled equally. So there's a moment at the end of the month, if you push through it, that you'll feel that you've gotten more control over each emotional situation in your life. I mean, look at this guy. He's wearing a hat, which means like at the very crown, at his crown chakra, at the fore of his mind, all the stuff that came up from the subconscious is now at the top of his mind, and he's able to think clearly and with passion. He's looking so comfortable. He's smiling and he's saying, I've got this shit covered. And also with this card, there's a great sense of foundation. That what you might be surprised with, Capricorn, is that when you think of high emotions and high drama, that you feel that there's nothing solid in any of that it's not down to earth enough. But the lesson this month that you can learn is that balancing and really trusting and healing and going with these emotions might actually give you more foundation in your life than you've ever experienced before. Yeah. Healing and allowing yourself this space without doubling back and saying, panic stations, we've got to go back to the old way. If you relax and take it in, you will realize that you have a new foundation in your life, and it's probably far more solid than any of the wonderful Capricorn foundations that were built before. So Capricorn, I hope you understand the energies that are happening for you this month. They are tricky, I get that. And they are quite alarming. I don't know if you can hear in the distance, my neighbour's alarm just went off. Just as I finished the reading, there's an alarm. So yeah, I get it. It might be quite alarming. Some emotional things might demand your attention, so it might be quite highly emotional. But you master this. And like I said, when you do, you will have a much more solid grounding and solid foundation in your life than you've had in years, Capricorn. I'm going to leave it at that, my love. If this is the first time watching my videos, then please do subscribe and come to my Facebook page, She Bear Tarot. I'm on Twitter and Instagram too. And come back next month to see how this pans out, because this is a month of great cleansing. And here's what we know about months where there are great cleansings, that the months that usually follow are much, much more invigorating, much more powerful. It's the great cleansing before the good stuff can come. Okay? So Capricorn, as always, remember, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'm going to leave you with a big kiss for luck. Mwah. And I'll see you next month.